Hey, it's Chris, and my Google Clips pre-order just arrived the other day, and I've got some first impressions that I want to share with you guys. Let me first take a minute to just say, Google Clips is a brand new type of product. It's not like it's just another phone or a brand new TV or something. Like, this is a brand new product category. If you haven't heard of Clips yet, it's basically just a hands-off camera you can set somewhere and just leave it alone, and then let the artificial intelligence decide when it's a good time to capture pictures and videos of you and your friends and your family and even your pets. The main selling point here is that, number one, you can be in photos. You don't have to be the photographer or the videographer and be capturing stuff. Like, you can get in on the action. And then number two, Clips is supposed to be smart enough to understand when you're smiling or when it's a good time to actually capture. And then the end product is that you end up with these 7-second clips that don't have any audio, by the way, or it will pull out the best stills from those moving clips. Now, before we get into what I actually think about this thing, which, by the way, is different than what other people seem to be saying, which is no surprise there, let's take a minute to see what's in the box and what some of the accessories look like. So inside the box, you get some paperwork that helps you get started and teaches you a little bit how the camera works, along with some safety information. And then there's the camera itself, obviously, and a USB cable, which luckily is a USB-C. You also get a soft case with a clip on the back, which can act as a stand, or you can use it to clip onto something for a better vantage point. Now, technically, this is not supposed to be a wearable camera, but I'm kind of curious to see, would it work at all in that capacity? So that's pretty much what's in the box, and optionally, you can grab a tripod and a harder case with a tripod mount, sort of like a super mini gorilla pod for different viewing angles. Now, honestly, this little tripod is only like kind of useful. I guess it gives you a little more height, which is good, but the legs don't really wrap around anything and stay put like a real gorilla pod would do. But luckily, this is a 1/4-inch tripod mount, so you could actually load it onto a real gorilla pod or any other tripod. But yeah, that little tripod, it's just kind of tricky to get positioned. It's kind of finicky. And then there's a soft little travel case, which basically amounts to being like a purse for your clips. But the main thing here is just being able to protect the lens. Okay, now I want to get into my first impressions, starting with the fact that comparing this to a phone and a phone camera and someone taking pictures with a phone is really stupid. I can't believe I'm seeing reviewers saying, well, I can just take better pictures with my phone. No, you can't, because you can't be in that picture, number one. And number two, I don't think this is meant to replace your phone. It's more like a supplement to the photos that you're already getting with your phone. Because yeah, with your phone, you're definitely going to get objectively better pictures in terms of quality and even with composition, because someone's behind the lens and yeah, whatever. But if you don't want to be the photographer and you want to be in on the action and you want to let artificial intelligence take over and kind of document some sort of situation for you, then Clips makes a lot of sense. So far, in the few days that I've had this, that I've been testing it, are the photos and the soundless videos amazing? Well, no, they're not mind-blowing. But here's the thing, in 5 or 10 years down the road or 30 years down the line, I would rather have a photo, good, bad, or otherwise, that documents some sort of situation where I didn't have my phone out than to have nothing at all. And I think that is what's so cool about Clips. I think back in my life and all these moments that I don't have documented or that could have been documented more. And I wish that something like this had existed when I was back in college or high school or just growing up. So Clips is not about taking portraits with really great depth of field and framing. But in my mind, it is about documentation. And that I think it does well enough. And actually, I am a big fan of the app so far. It's really simple, and if you want to save something, you just swipe right. Or if you don't want to go through the whole timeline, you could just let Google sort through everything for you and save the few clips that it recommends and delete the rest. And I've also really ended up liking the size of this thing. It's very portable, and yet it's not so small that it's hard to mess with. In terms of build quality too, I'd say it's light, and yet it's still somehow pretty durable, although it's plasticky, but it doesn't really feel cheap. Something that's kind of cool too is that there's only one main button, and you use that if you want to manually take a photo or have the device learn somebody's face or something. But in order to start capturing, then you turn the lens, which is kind of crazy. I probably never would have thought about that, like, hey, let's make these guys turn the lens to start capturing. I would never would have done that, but it's kind of cool. Now I can see some people saying like, hey, if there's a camera around, people know there's a camera around, so they act different, and how candid is that really? And I can already tell from the times that I've set this up, even when people are around, like, you forget about it. Even if you know it's there for a second, you forget about it after a while, and you do end up getting those unexpected shots where people aren't just posing. And also, the recording light is a white flashing light, so it's not a bright red light that maybe would draw attention. It's kind of the universal symbol for you are being recorded. So that's another kind of a slide feature too. The main thing with this camera, I think, is just finding a decent angle. If you put it on the floor, I mean, it's gonna be too low. If you stick it up on the bookshelf, it might be kind of too high. But getting the right angle is really the best way that you can make the most of this camera. And boom, that's it for this video. So hopefully you guys liked it. And hey, I have a question for you. We're getting close to 100,000. It's gonna be like 2, 3, maybe 4 months, somewhere in that period. Would you guys be interested in a t-shirt that says, I subscribed before 100,000? Let me know down in the comments. And I will catch you for the next video on Thursday, which is gonna be my ultimate gaming setup. I'm really excited about this. I've been putting it together forever, and I can't wait to show you guys. Later.